So we're going to do some cut fill shading for the platform, and it's this display settings now. There's a new cut fill shading section in the display settings. And how do you get that cut fill shading? It's generated from a different surface. So under terrain, there's a new function, different surface. And if I select to run that, it also requires a DTM grid. So you need to generate the grid using the DTM grid volumes function, just like the drainage or the neutral contours, DTM grid contours. Okay, so I'm going to use a grid, and it's a ground and design difference grid. So it's the difference between the ground and the design surface. So in this case, we're using the ground as base earthworks, and then my platform 1. I'm going to set a grid of 1 meter. If I preview that, you can see there's 40 by 40 grids in those bigger blocks. That's just the containment area. These are just search distances for the program to calculate the levels for the grids. Okay, so it's running through that containment grid block area. I don't really need to be concerned with the volumes. I just need the grid to generate the cut fill shading. So I'm going to go back to terrain and run that different surface function now. So it's generating a surface, a separate surface. So I need to select which surface I want to put that new different surface. So it's the difference between the ground and the design surface. And I'm just putting it on empty surface 32. You can see it's successfully created this new surface for me. Okay, so now I could go back to display settings and back to that new cut fill shading display setting. So I'd switch it on, it's automatically picked up that different surface that was created. So basically it's a form of height shading. Your blue would be the cut, the white is the 0 value, and then the red is the fill areas. So blue is values that are less than 0 because you're below the ground level, and then the red is the fill area because you above the ground surface, so positive values. Okay, so I'm just running that. I'm using that gradient shading, so it's using varying gradient shading across the cut and fill areas. If I go back to display settings, I'm just going to move it off to the side so we can have a look at that shading. So you can see the blue values, the negative values is your cut, and then the positive would be the fill areas. So the design surface there is above the ground, so it's positive in the fill areas.